Richard Skinner, Local12.com digital sports columnist, joining me now. Skinny, we are in the doldrums of the sports season. The Reds are playing FC, but we're going to talk Bengals because we heard from Mr. Headband himself, Joe Burrow, and I'm going to start there.
Yep.
Can you pull off the headband sleeveless T-shirt look?
Definitely not the sleeveless T-shirt, although I have a couple in one of my drawers from back in the day. I don't think I rocked quite that, but yeah, I could do that, but not now. And I've never been a headband guy, so I've always wanted to keep it kind of short. You are too. I think I want to keep it short. Joe's kind of let it go, so maybe he needs the headband. I will say, I would have loved to have seen how many people this weekend at Great American Ballpark rocked the headband looked just to try to be like Joe Burrow.
I want to throw this out there. I've run from time to time in case
you do it.
Yeah, I've been doing it for years.
Oh, you did do it. You're right.
I've been doing it for years. I mean, Joe pulls it off, but I just want to put it out there.
Here's my question. Why do you do it?
It just keeps the sweat and everything from dripping into your face when you're going on those long 10, 12-mile runs.
Wipe your brow.
Okay, but you can only do that so often, before your T-shirt's drenched. It works.
Yeah.
I just want it known. I was pulling off the headband look before Joe Burrow did.
And nobody was wearing the headband until Joe Burrow started wearing it. That's all I'm saying.
I'm just saying.
Maybe Joe Burrow's following you. I don't know.
Hey, maybe he is. I've always thought that. Let's talk about the Burrow contract extension because that's going to be what we're going to talk about until they get on the field, and we have more to talk about. He talked about it during his press conference this week. He said the focal point is he wants to keep certain guys there, as we expect. If you're a quarterback, you want your best receivers there, Jamar, Tee. Where do you think they stand on this, and how soon do you think we get this done?
Yeah, I still think it's going to be a lot because I think it's going to come down to structure. And so I think I think a lot of people took his comments of, well, he's going to leave money on the table. He might leave a little bit, but he's not leaving a lot of money on the table. This is literally about structure. How do you structure it from guarantees to the signing bonus to the yearly salary, all those things? And I think he's smart enough to realize if I can structure it in a proper way, then I can get T re-signed. And if I structure it in a proper way, and maybe we wait to kick a little can down the road, I can get Jamar re-signed. Don't forget, they gave him the fifth year option as a first-round draft pick. It's $29 million. You can kind of kick the can a little further down the road with that if you so desire with this extension to say, I won't kick in until 2025, 2026, and then we can spread some money out to get all these guys signed. So I don't think it's a matter of, I think we all took it of, he's going to leave. I don't think he may leave a little bit on the table. He's not leaving a lot on the table, and I think he understands. And he even said, I don't have the direct quote in front of me, but it was, I'll paraphrase, was, you can have a great quarterback, but you got to have guys around him, and he knows that. He's not stupid.
Something that Rob Gronkowski said this week that he thinks he should take a team-friendly deal, a lot like Tom Brady. In my own opinion, if you're worth that kind of money, go get that kind of money. Tom Brady was married to a billionaire in his own right. I mean, that's an entirely different situation, but get the bag, man, at the end of the day.
And like I said, I think there'll be some money left on the table for other guys. I do. I think because it's probably going to have to be, but it's not suddenly going to be the most team-friendly thing that everybody's ever seen. It's going to be what works for him and works for the team. Like I said, I think that's the complicated part is how does this get structured to then say, okay, we can structure it to get T in this year. Well, don't forget, Jamar can get a fifth-year option. He's only in his third year, so we're not even talking for another 2 years for him to get the fifth-year option. You could eventually tag him if you wanted to tag him. I don't think that's going to happen if you're going to extend him, but you've got some time for him. Don't have a lot of time for T. You could tag T. That would probably get us to the Jesse Bates scenario. I don't think anybody wants to go there. So I think it's complicated. I think it will get done by camp. It wouldn't shock me as we're eating our mock turtle soup on that Tuesday or whatever that is that Joe Burrow is putting ink to paper.
The Tee Higgins thing is the most interesting because it's first up. Like you said, Jamar's got a couple more years. They got the fifth-year option on there. T's going to need to be paid sooner than later. It's interesting. You said a couple weeks ago when we talked about this, about the tag. They could tag him for a couple of years, and then at that point, do you re-sign him? Do you think they're going for the big contract? Because receivers are getting just astronomical amounts of money. And if Christian Kirk can get paid what he got paid, Tee Higgins is worth way more than that. But I don't know if the Bengals are willing to pay him that much what it is, and if you pay him that much, then how much can you give Burrow, how much can you give Jamar? It becomes more complicated, but again, it's a sense of if you're worth this much money, go get this much money.
I know this, they want him. Duke Tobin at the Combine, that quelled everything where let somebody else go find their wide receiver, right? That quelled all that, so they definitely want him.
You can want a guy, but
you got to make
you want a lot of guys on your roster, but you can't afford everybody.
Correct, but I think there's some good faith here probably on the Bengals' part in negotiation at this point. point, I think it was great faith in T's part for him to show up for this stuff. I mean, this is a voluntary program. Guys don't have to show up. Jesse Bates didn't show up last year. We all understood why. Jonah Williams hasn't shown up to this point, and Joe Burrow made a point of it. Listen, we all understand it's the business side of football. T chose to show up. So I think he realizes, yes, they want me. I'm going to have good faith to come. He also said, I want to work on my craft. That's why I'm here. And I think it's pretty genuine of him. But he's also risking, some kind of fluky, crazy, goofy injury. Jonah Williams had it as a rookie that cost him. I think they'll get him done here at some point, maybe even sooner than Burrow, as goofy as that sounds. I think that's kind of how the dominoes will play.
I hate this part of football because it's all the numbers, and it's not. We're not talking about the sport. It's the business side of things.
And you really have to. And I I understand a lot of salary cap and structure and contracts.
Right.
It's still hard for me to project how does this stuff shake out.
Exactly.
Where do you put the cap hit? Where do you put that cap hit? Where do you put Jamar's cap hit? Because there is going to be a significant cap hit for each one of these guys. Number 9 more significant than the others. But you have to do that. And that's why when people this year were looking at, why didn't you take a tight end? Well, they're trying to put guys on rookie contracts on the other side of the football to get these guys paid because you can't pay them all. And so, Logan Wilson, I think, is in line for an extension. And I'm not sure where that comes into play at this point in the game. But if you got a lot of guys on rookie contracts, you can hopefully do all this stuff.
It's a good problem to have. Too many guys who are too good. You got to pay them all. You can't keep them all. You can't pay them all. We'll see how this all shakes out.